ketone sticks and finger prick blood ketone monitoring too, not primarily for spousal checkups.
I was having a good laugh with Lindsay about this the other day. I told her that this had come up on the podcast, and I was reminding her of the time that we had a row over the fact that I wasn't in ketosis and wasn't taking Atkins seriously. And I still maintain that I was taking it seriously. The eating meat and cheese part, I was, staunch. Staunch on. I just topped up with the odd pie here and there. It's got to be how it works, right?
Mark Butler, he said, catching up with Super League Pod later than usual. Can Dr. Bob tell me why I keep hearing voices telling me to burn things?
We've got to put an end to this. I don't want now to suddenly put upon.
Well, I don't believe it's Bob's specialty, so I don't think
psychiatry is not. Maybe you can put Mark in touch with someone.
He needs to divert us to a specialist. What he needs to do is have the whole of Leeds General Infirmary or wherever he primarily works from, listening to the Super League Pod and contributing.
Absolutely, couldn't agree more. Okay, so sorry, Mark, but we can't help you with that. Tim Griffiths, what do you have to say for himself?
Well, he was letting us know about the West of England Lionhearts versus South Wales under-20s, which is going to be played on Saturday the 3rd of September at Corsham Rugby Football Club at 2:30pm. We said, well done to all of those selected for the West of England side, including Oxford Cavaliers, Doug Churnside, Dan Brooker and Tom Davies, who will captain the side. Yours truck, I think he meant truly, has also had the call up behind the mic. Okay. Come on, you West.
Very good. Well, thank you.
There you go. So if you want to go and check out some of Tim G in action, get down to Corsham Rugby Club on Saturday. I'm not sure where Corsham is, but I'm guessing somewhere.
It's in the Oxford area.
In the west of England.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, that's your feedback and shout-outs taken care of. Let's take a look now at news from around the world of rugby.
Oh, wait, no, sorry. I'm doing this thing to you that I do sometimes.
For the love of God, what now?
I forgot to write it down, but I wanted to give a special shout-out to the Facebook crew, because they're not as numerous as the Twitter gang, and they don't tend to comment on stuff as frequently and get in touch with us frequently, but there's a couple of guys in particular who like and share and all of that, everything. I mean, we've talked about some of the lads before, like Mark Selby and people like that, but not the snooker player. But we have confirmed in the past that he's not the snooker player, haven't we? Well, I've known sort of and who Mark is for many years through other websites and stuff like that. So, I see. So he's not, and I know what he looks like. So it's not him. No. Okay. But a couple of names that spring to mind that I don't think we talked about much before is Phil Nadin or Nadin. I'm not sure how you pronounce his surname. Yes. And Kevin Keir. I think Kevin maybe has got in touch through his Twitter, maybe. Okay. I'm not sure, but I think he might have done. But Phil, I can't remember him getting in touch with too many reviews or anything, but he likes everything. Yeah. And he helps us get our reach out there on Facebook by doing that, and I would encourage more of you to be like people like Phil and Mark and David Pye and all of those guys, and like our posts on Facebook, like our page, facebook.com/Super League Pod, like our post, share our posts, comment on there. Guys, come and tell us about your team's games as well, because we want more of that. On the Facebook gang. Absolutely. Fantastic. Well, thank you very much specifically to our Facebook followers. May I segue? Oh, yeah, totally. Okay, that's the feedback and shout. That's the feedback and shout outs taken care of. Let's take a look this time at news from around the world of rugby league. So, to news from the world of rugby league then, and we'll start in West Yorkshire, where former Leeds Rhinos and England captain Kevin Sinfield has been appointed rugby director at the RFL. Sinfield has played more than 500 games for Leeds between 1997 and 2015 and spent a year with the rugby union side at Yorkshire Carnegie before retiring this May. The 35-year-old's new role includes helping create the England team's 4-year plan for the 2021 World Cup. He will also work with the RFL's commercial team to help players find new careers after their retirement. Good to see. I like to see ex-pros with some high profile being retained by the sport and not just being allowed to go off, and because he would have other options with his management degrees and stuff like that. Yeah, so, certainly. Good move. He's sort of looked after himself off the field in terms of preparing for life after rugby with the degrees he's got and that sort of thing, but you always sort of felt like it was to work in sports administration in some sort of way. The role itself I don't fully understand. It seems to have a very wide scope for someone who's only going to be working part-time at least for the next year or so. I believe he's doing more studies as well in the next year or so.
That's correct.
Is Kevin Sinfield. So, you know, in terms of his pedigree in rugby league, it's good. It's a good move. In terms of his winning experience, he's a good leader and that sort of thing. And in terms of the things he's obviously been working on off the field, it seems to work quite well. Don't really understand, like I say, the scope of his role, whether the role was created for Sinfield or whether it already existed as a role they were actively looking to recruit in. I think I'm more interested in stuff about helping players find help for careers after retirement. And I think maybe that's where he might have a better strength, a better link. I don't necessarily know how much he's going to contribute to things like 4-year strategic plans for the England national team. Unless he's going to tell players to not kick the ball dead and, you know, cost us semi-finals.
Exactly.
We're not over it, are we?
I'm never going to be over it, and I'll probably never forgive him for that. I mean,
but it's a good name. It's been a big announcement, and there's been a lot of publicity about it, and that's good to get rugby league in the headlines. And hopefully, it's a appointment made fully on merit and all of that, and it does seem that the guy has been working towards being able to do that sort of job.
I like that, and I take on board what you said. I question how much of an appointment based on merit it is, or whether or not they've really thought this through completely. Kevin Sinfield is probably and arguably the most recognisable face in rugby league more broadly, so it's a good appointment in terms of,
other than Martin Fire, obviously. It's a
good appointment from the RFL's point of view in terms of you can announce this and people who are less strongly affiliated with the sport will know of Kevin Sinfield. So from that point of view, I think it's a good appointment. My big question is, why on earth is Kevin Sinfield having anything to do with the 4-year plan heading into the World Cup? Should that not be something that our head coaches and the coaching staff around the elite players...
But we don't know who the head coach will be after the World Cup.
Yeah, so exactly. So the new head coach comes in potentially, or Wayne Bennett retains his position within, you know, whatever. A new head coach comes in. Does that not just automatically create friction there, because a new guy's going to want to come in and have his own ideas and implement his own strategies heading into a World Cup?
Well, that's the problem. We don't understand the definition of what's setting in place the 4-year plan will be. So would the 4-year plan be to make sure we have a coach that'll be in situ for that time, a fixture schedule for that period of time, an idea of how the elite training squad wants to work and that sort of stuff? Would it just be that, or would it be more micromanagement than that and actually hands-on during the 4-year term? I think it might be the former rather than the latter. I don't know. We'll see.
I hope so. It needs some definition. Okay.
But he's a player that I like far more in retirement than in active.
Oh, I definitely prefer him now. He doesn't play for England anymore, and Leeds, I suppose, but more specifically now that he's not playing in any semi-finals for us. Castleford have this week hit out at being forced to change 2 of their upcoming Super 8s fixtures. The Tigers' home fixture against Wakefield will now be played on Friday the 2nd of September at 8 p.m. instead of on the Sunday at 3 p.m. or 3:30 p.m, forgive me. The away fixture against St Helens will now be played on Thursday the 8th of September with an 8 o'clock kickoff instead of on Friday the 9th of September. Can I take this opportunity to apologise to our fans for any inconvenience caused by having to move our Sunday afternoon Wakefield game to the Friday night? Tigers CEO Steve Gill said in a statement. We've been informed by the RFL that Sky Sports wish to move our game versus St Helens to the Thursday night to be the televised match, which they are in their right to do by giving 11 days notice for the round 5 fixtures. This change has had a profound impact on our round 4 fixture with Wakefield. It has been well documented the current position we are in with both long and short term injuries to a vast number of our squad, and to expect us to have what would have been a 4-day turnaround at this point in the season is ridiculous. It's almost as ridiculous as saying you cannot sell any tickets or any hospitality packages 11 days before a game, as it could be changed. At this point in the season, we are supposed to be in an elite part of our great game, the Super 8s, but this type of forward planning does not do our game any favours with our fans and sponsors alike. We are set to lose a significant chunk of revenue from the rearrangement of this fixture, but let's get behind Darryl and our boys for these final few games and show them our support. Strong words from Steve Gilmark.
Yeah, and I completely understand his sentiments, and I think the balance here is off in that what they were trying to do, obviously Sky, is stagger announcing the last few fixtures so that they knew they would have games that quote unquote mattered.
Yeah.
But to be honest, every game should matter anyway. Not in terms of every game should mean who's going to get in the playoffs or not, but every game should still be an entertainment spectacle for the fans, for the viewers, for that. And what we're saying is, by doing this sort of stuff, is by saying some games mean shit all. And that doesn't help with fans' mindsets and stuff. What would be better in a period of the fixtures that are already difficult to sell, to be completely honest, is to have all of the Thursday night fixtures announced as soon as the Super... that they're the first fixtures you put in.
Yeah.
Firmly into the calendar, because that gives people time to plan. Basically, that's what people really want. People moan a lot about Thursdays, but really, if you've got the time to be able to plan it around and understand where you might have to go and that sort of stuff, people are willing to do it.
Yeah,
the whole FC fan showed that the week before
commercially as well.
Yeah, exactly, and that's more important than whether or not Sky have scheduled Catalans against Castleford and it turns out to not have any real bearing on the top four at that stage as the Thursday night game or what have you, as thrown out as an example.
Yeah.
That's how I view it, and that's how it should have been, and I think it's right for Castleford. I think Wakefield have come out to sort of support that. They're not very happy with this change either, obviously, because it's messed up their preparations for the fixtures from having a period where they thought they can let the players go on a holiday. Now the players are going to be coming back with not enough time to really get themselves into the shape they probably want to be in by the time the game kicks off, because it's 2 days earlier, 2 days less prep.
It's 2 days less prep for both teams, though, isn't it?
Yeah, but the strategic plans they've made in how they're dealing with the playing squad would have been made differently if they'd have been told this 2 weeks ago or 4 weeks ago, when they should have been told it, rather than after, just before this weekend.
I agree. And I think I'd feel more bothered about this if either of these two teams were within a, shouting distance of the top four. But I get your point.
No, I feel we should be bothered about it every which way. I think these are the sorts of things that do make the RFL.
It does make them look amateurish.
It sets up a rod for their own back, and I know it's not the RFL who've done it, but the RFL have the agreement in place that has this 11-day rule, which is stupid. Really, there should be You tell us every Thursday night game up until the split, and then the day the fixture of the split for the rounds are announced, you talk to the clubs that day. You get those Thursday night fixtures set till the end of the season, and whatever you need to do to juice up that encounter, whatever the clubs need to do to juice up those encounters, needs to be done, regardless of whether that actually in the end will mean a trophy or not on the line on that game on that televised night. Yeah, that's my opinion.
The problem we have really now, of course, is that we're beholden to our televisual masterlords, aren't we, for the next however many years, and that this is unlikely to change unless they improve their relationship with Sky.
They can probably maybe work on little bits like those sorts of details. The clubs can maybe force an issue there. Maybe, you don't know, do you?
Hopefully so. Okay, staying in the five towns though, Wakefield's much troubled full-back, or back generally, Jordan Tansey has been released by the Super League club by mutual consent. Leeds-born Tansey, who is 29, joined Wakefield midway through the 2015 season, but has not featured this year. He did play 2 games out on loan with Huddersfield Giants though. Having begun his career with hometown Leeds in 2006, he's gone on to play for the Sydney Roosters, Hull FC, Dewsbury, the Crusaders, York City Knights and Castleford. No idea where he's going.
Halifax.
It's got to be Halifax.
Well, why? Well,
he's got to continue his tour of West Yorkshire, hasn't he?
If we treat his last club really as Huddersfield, because that's the last one he played for, the next logical step would be over the motorway to Halifax.
You would think so.
And then to Bradford.
Well, he's not coming to Bradford.
Eventually, that's where he's going to have to end up.
What, so he can carry Kieran Moss's boots and tape and stuff around for him?
No, so then he can complete the journey.
Look, this little Lord of the Rings-esque trip around West Yorkshire that you've mapped out for Jordan Tansey is all well and good in podcast Fantasyland, but he's not going to play for Bradford.
To be honest, I've forgotten all about him.
The little offs I had as well. I was like, oh my god, Jordan Tansey's a rugby league player.
Right.
Yeah, okay. So, good that you mentioned Bradford, though. That moves us into a bit of Bradford Bulls / London Broncos news. And we'll start in Bradford, where Chief Executive Robbie Hunter-Paul has left his role at the club. Hunter-Paul served as CEO after joining Bradford from Huddersfield Giants in July 2013. Club Chairman Mark Green said, "I am saddened to see Robbie leave, but understand his position and wish him and his family all the best." The 40-year-old will continue in his role as a trustee of the Bradford Bulls Foundation and will continue